Congress avoided a shutdown, but members are now focused on other major topics. Our political reporter Justin Gick is here with more. Justin?
Emmeline, the bill keeps some of the government funded through September. However, Congress has until March 22nd to prevent the Pentagon and Homeland Security from shutting down. Members are also looking ahead to other areas that need to be addressed. With one shutdown averted and another one looming in just a couple weeks, it's fair to say this is a top priority for members of Congress. However, there are still other issues that are trying to get resolved as time moves on. One of them is immigration, as the bipartisan bill fell apart at the beginning of February. Representative Kelly Armstrong says this is still something that is being discussed.
We had a meeting in the Speaker's office last week. I personally think we should break H.R. 2 up into 10 pieces and introduce each one of those bills one at a time and force people to go on the record if they don't support Remain in Mexico, ending parole, not letting violent offenders into the interior of our country.
An issue that some House members are continuing to look into is the impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Last week, the president's son, Hunter Biden, gave a deposition behind closed doors.
I also learned that he's got a very good lawyer. I sat through the entire deposition, and it became clear early on that because it wasn't videotaped and the answers they were giving were meant to be read on paper. And I think the next step is to bring him in for a live hearing, which is what I've always thought we should do.
Aid to Ukraine and Israel also continues to be on the forefront. Back in February, the Senate passed a $95.3 billion foreign aid package that covered these countries. However, the House has still not even looked at the bill. Armstrong says they will not look at it in its current form.
The answer can't be President Biden says Zelensky needs it. Mitch McConnell says Zelensky needs it. Chuck Schumer says Zelensky needs it. There has to be a strategic interest, and it has to be portrayed to the American people.
Congress also heard from President Biden on Thursday night as he addressed many of these issues in his State of the Union speech. Armstrong says he thinks this speech was more so about the president figuring out how to get his approval ratings out of the cellar.
The administration's policies are unpopular. The president is unpopular because the American people are spending $1,000 more a month because of the economic policies and because we have people in our communities dying of fentanyl poisoning.
Although members are still focused on the 2024 fiscal year budget, they are just months away from having to start negotiations on fiscal year 2025's budget. Armstrong says he hopes that this budget does not see the same issues this one had.
This is no way to run a rodeo, and it's caused a lot of frustration across all swaths of the conference, and we have to figure out a better way to do this.
But for now, members will continue focusing on the current tasks at hand. There were also some major announcements yesterday concerning the House. Representative Matt Rosendale of Montana announced that he will not seek re-election to the House, citing rumors and a death threat. Former New York Representative George Santos, who was expelled from Congress, announced a bid to return. Emmeline?
Thanks, Justin.